Like those types of drugs that are produced and consumed in like super high quantities. Like I've heard like the numbers in the U.S. before, and they're like surprisingly high.
It's more than ever before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's something that's kind of subjective to diagnose because you can just say words.
Right.
You know, they're not like, all right, let's have a look at your vitals and get a blood palette. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
Right.
It's like, well, I feel all the ways ADHD
Yeah.
people feel.
Yeah. And it's not surprising that it's increasing with basically the amount of attention we give to social media and like devices and like it makes sense that when people are not prioritizing shit that's going on in their head, and then you're consuming something on your phone, or you're constantly stimulated in that way. So that makes sense. But
yeah, no, I think you're 100% right with that. You see it a lot with kids because it directly affects their mood.
Right.
Like if one of the kids is on a device for a long time, their mood is completely different. They're easily agitated.
Yeah.
They don't want to do stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go outside. No, I just want to hang out here.
Right.
And it's just to watch bullshit.
Yeah.
I look at the videos that Xavier watches and they're nuts. It's some idiot talking in a baby's voice with toys, you know, and it's literally farming attention.
Reviewing toys.
Yeah, reviewing toys. Or they'll take like a famous movie and they'll be the characters, and it's some dork like doing the voices.
Okay.
You know, and Xavier, he's 4, so he's like, it's like the movie, you know, but it's like, dude, this isn't good for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man. I don't like. What do you do? And you can really tell to at jiu-jitsu when you're teaching the kids as well. Like, there's some kids that the parents tell me like they're on medication or whatever, and then some parents decide that, or one particular parents decide to stop giving the kid the medication for the summer. I don't know like what the what the point of that is, but that kid in the class now is like super like disruptive to the class, like very disruptive, you know. So got to keep on top of him all the time because he just will pay attention to nothing you're trying to teach, and then while like distracting other kids, and then when it's time when you're doing like situational drilling or whatever with the kids, you're explaining like everything to that kid, right? And although he's been there a lot longer than some of the other kids, like he's very stagnant on his progression, kind of doing the same stuff that he first was doing instead of trying to work his way out of things, you know. So it's not easy, you know, and you can see that it's not in his control either, especially as a kid, because you don't understand your mind and body enough to realize that I have to exercise or I have to get out a certain amount of energy in the run of the day to like complement that I don't know, what is it, dopamine, you know, release or whatever it is. But it's very similar to dogs too. Like if I don't walk my Frenchies or if I don't play with them in the morning, they're crooked as sin. And they'll be like saucy and stuff throughout the day, you know. So I have to work in like little plays with them and tucker them out, you know, so they're more even keeled, you know.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
When I leave to go on trips, Roman starts shitting in the house again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he gets like super depressed when we go on trips, like the whole family.
Yeah.
if the core is home, he's pretty good. But no, dogs feel it. You can tell when a dog's anxious
Yeah.
or stressed out.
Yeah.
The thing with kids on drugs, and I'm obviously not a doctor. I don't know. I feel like it's really on, like when it comes to ADHD meds and antidepressants, it's like, is your kid, what's making them depressed?
Right.
Like, I don't think a kid should be on antidepressants.
Yeah.
It seems like a thing you talk out. And when it comes to ADHD meds, again, just my personal opinion.
Right.
But I mean, that's a slippery slope, man. You're
Yeah.
fucking with their brain chemistry before they hit puberty.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I don't know the answer to it, man, because you, but yeah, but you would think that you need to try everything else other than drug intervention before.
big time. When I was a kid, I had like they spotted like some OCD things in me, and mom just started buying me books when I was bored, and I just started reading.
Yeah,
and then it got rid of it for the most part.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and it's a whole other ball game in today's day and age too, right? Because of like how much stimulus they can get just from anything all the time. You know, like you like kids don't have to be bored anymore. But I mean, but there was large swaths of time where you're just bored as a kid. Like back in my day, and you do stupid shit, you know, when you're bored.
Yeah.
You know, so and just silly shit, or like, you know, you just draw, or you know, I don't know.
I remember on a Sunday when I was a kid, it was raining out.
Yeah.
And I literally just started making paper planes in weird different things, and then writing out how I made it. Because what else do you do? You know, there's no internet.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally you'd be outside.
Right.
Yeah. With your buddies. But yeah, kids today, it's like, do these things so that you can get your phone, a waste of time. And then parents are relieved because they can finally sit down and go on their phones and look at bullshit. You know?
Man, oh man,
it's a fucking vicious cycle.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good path, does it?
No, I'm on the cusp of just becoming a phone dictator. I mean, like, phones go in the bowl at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Get them back for an hour. That's it.
Right.
Parents included.
Yeah.
Because I find myself, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'm in there just like, you know.
Yeah. I shouldn't even take my phone into the bathroom. You know, there's all kinds of bad shit that can happen if you stay on the toilet too long. As a 30-plus-year-old man,
that's right.
You know, gravity starts like pulling on stuff, and next thing you know, you have. You ever hear of anal fissures?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, like, everything's pulling on your butthole, and it causes like micro tears in your ass. You know?
Shit, really?
Yeah.
You can get that from sitting on the toilet?
Too long. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
wow.
So not to say that I got that.
Well,
I've heard.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I've heard that could be an
friend.
issue. You know, so yeah, you don't want stuff like that happening.
No.
But that'll happen.
How embarrassing.
Yeah.
You'd have to make up something. Yeah, I find that the worst thing for me is I get up and I got that red ring on my ass from just sitting on the toilet for too long.
Oh yeah.
Fisher sounds even fucking worse.
Yeah. Your legs are numb.
Yeah, that too. You're walking out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrible, man. You been following any news lately? Any current?
I couple of things. The Joey Swoll thing. We were talking about Hulk Hogan last week. Did you follow that at all?
No, I've seen his face pop up since like he became like a meme, I guess, or whatever.
Do better.
Yeah.
He so Hulk Hogan
It's a sick
died.
name, Joey Swoll.
Joey Swoll is awesome.
Yeah, it's a sick name.
And he's jacked. Obviously, you got to be.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan died, and he posted a video of him dressed as Hulk Hogan from some party.
Yeah.
And he looked great. He had the tan on. He's a jack dude.
Yeah.
Then he started getting all this hate. People call him racist for dressing like Hulk Hogan. Like, he wasn't in blackface. He wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan was a lot of things before he said all that stupid shit.
Yeah.
And so that happened, and then he put out an apology video
Yeah.
for it, which is like, dude,
why do you apologize?
yeah, like just you weren't dressing up as him
Yeah.
to be racist. It
Yeah.
wasn't KKK Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
You know,
and Hulk Hogan's also larger than life too, like the character Hulk Hogan.
big time.
I mean,
Big
that's
time.
like just like you could look at just like the silhouette of Hulk Hogan and you would know that that's Hulk Hogan. You know? So
yeah,
I mean, it's
the whole thing was retarded, and then he put out the apology video, and then he got a lot more hate, and then he was like, "I'm leaving social media."
yeah,
Which his whole thing is like, do better, you know. And then he completely folded,
right.
and he's like, "I'm leaving social media." He didn't,
Yeah.
you know. But it's like you can't please people that are easily offended.
Yeah, and these people that are easily offended, they're such a vocal minority.
Yeah.
But they think because they're in this little vocal minority and they're so fucking loud about all this stuff. They think that they're a big portion of like the general population, and they think they got a lot of power in that. But it's so difficult to wrap your head around. Those numbers when you have, say you got 1,000 people coming at you and they're all fucking hating on you. I mean, but how many people probably view that guy's content? I don't know like much about him, but probably.
I was checking him out this morning. He's got 5.4 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think his main platform might be YouTube.
Right.
So he's got like a lot of people that follow him.
Yeah.
But like you said, you're giving these people power.
Yeah. So I mean, 1% of 5 million is what, like 5,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, so if 1% of those people, you got 5,000 weirdos just like hating on you for that. That's so stupid. I mean, like I posted this thing. This came out afterwards. They're fairly recently of Hulk Hogan. That he actually had leukemia and he didn't tell anybody. So he was like silently fucking battling cancer, yeah, and as well. So here he is like with leukemia, and there's like this video of him visiting kids that are bald and they're going through cancer treatment, whatever. And he's like saying a prayer with them and like, you know, making these kids' day or lives. You know, you don't know how long these fucking kids got.
Yeah.
And so I just like screenshot that and I put it on my Instagram story. And I said, "Rest in peace, brother." You know, like, you know, it's like good on him. You know, it's like and somebody responded to me saying like, he's actually a terrible person. And I'm like, okay, like, is he terrible all the time? Like
he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead now.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, was he terrible there when he's visiting kids, you know, and you know, that have cancer and they're dying? Like, do you think like, I know bad people as a cop, like, you know, like really bad people, like the people that a lot of people don't believe in good and evil, but like I've met a lot of evil fucking people, and you know, so I think a lot of people who get on like that, they don't have a perspective on like human nature and like how dark people can be, and you know, so when you're in the privacy of your own home and you're being recorded without your knowledge and you're carrying on or being obtuse or hyperbolic or whatever it is, or you're being an asshole, yeah, I mean, should that define you for the rest of your life? Like, I don't know.
People have, the thing that drives me crazy about it too, they don't allow these people to grow and change or just see all the good that they did. It's like this one moment. Yeah. Especially with social media where things can get pulled, like you said. You know, it's recorded, and I'm sure whatever he said was absolutely nuts. Yeah. But then I'm sure he apologized and you know, and showed proof that like whatever,
but that's that cancel culture stuff. It's, you know, they want you to essentially die for something that they didn't agree with. They want your life of whatever it was that got you notoriety, or they want that just cut right the fuck off and you to be silent for the rest of your life and to fucking go away forever. It's just not reasonable.
No.
Because I mean, like, what what onus, like what standard are we setting then for moving forward? Or like, why would anybody then feel the need to apologize for something if there's never going to be any redemption for that person as well? Like, you're just going to make people more extreme, and that's essentially what happened too with how polarizing culture is in today's day and age. Like, you have this cancel culture that's attacking people incessantly for things and making these mountains out of molehills, and that's basically on the flip side of the coin. That's making other people hunker down and get more extreme in their views as well. And so it's just a poisonous attitude. It's and it's just what it doesn't do any good.
No,
at all.
It makes people crazy.
Yeah.
You have, I mean, Hulk Hogan said this thing. He's a legend.
Yeah.
And then he died, and you can't show him respect.
Yeah.
Because now he's been ostracized by this
Right.
this easily offended crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be good for you to be that easily offended anyway.
No.
And I'm sure they're not even offended.
Right.
It's a thing where it's like clout.
Yeah, it's performative, and it's like
virtue signaling.
Yeah, look how virtuous I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the most virtuous person. That's why I'm attacking this person online for not being as virtuous as I am.
Yeah. Well, look at the Sydney Sweeney thing.
That's super weird.
Like, I kept rewatching the ad. I'm like, what did she say that was so offensive?
Yeah.
And she's like, I have good genes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, she's in great shape.
Yeah.
She's this young,
beautiful woman.
attractive woman.
Yeah.
It's like, who's offended? People that aren't attractive. I don't understand.
Well, it's like the whole thing is like, she's this blonde, white, beautiful woman, and like that. It's the opposite of what is like, that's a person that is, I guess, a privileged person in the eyes of like other people that are a part of this ideology, right? So when saying that, hey, she's got good genes, she's a good looking person, like even if it is like GENES, then they're like, no, well, that's totally Nazi fascism, or like, because it's just it's so childish.
Yeah.
But I just I find it a hard time paying attention to stuff like that these days, for sure, because it's so exhausting the way these people get on. Right?
I really feel like the zeitgeist is tired of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Rodney Coleman has good genes. Michael Jordan has good genes.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky has good genes. It's funny too, because like, do they realize that when you start splicing people into their sex, their orientation, their race, it's like, Boz, we're all humans.
Yeah.
Like,
you're being racist. Right?
Exactly.
So I mean, if by that, it's a good, I guess it's a good litmus test, or it's a good exposer for people that they only think in terms of like race and identity. And when you see like this good looking person, and she has good genes on, and he's rocking this set of jeans, and the thing you really bite down on is, wait a second, they're saying she has good genes and she's white and she's blonde, like, and then you get upset by that. So you might want to look in the mirror, and understand that you're the one that's being like a race weirdo, right? Like you're way too obsessed with that.
It's like all they see is race.
Yeah.
They're calling people racist.
Yeah.
There are people across the spectrum that have great genes.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
In fact, the pigment of your skin is all about where your ancestors grew up.
Yeah.
And if you grew up in a very hot place, you have darker skin to protect you.
Yeah.
Look at the Irish, super white. There's hardly any sun. It's
And if you go to the bottom of the ocean, a lot of fish are actually translucent because and like you can see right through their bodies.
Yeah.
Because they don't need any melanin, because they don't have to protect anything from the sun. It's kind of cool, but But yeah, it's just you have an extra layer of protection from the sun. It's like that's good.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, okay,
You're just a human.
what else?
You know?
Yeah.
You're just a human.
Yeah. Like you've evolved to deal with a certain climate. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. It's I mean the Democrats in the states really latch onto this thing too, and they're not doing themselves any favors.
No.
It's like
Yeah.
you're dividing people. It's stressful. It makes no sense.
You're not giving reasonable people alternative options either.
Yeah.
It's like you either go with the extremists on one side or the extremists on another side. But where is the not necessarily middle ground, but where's the middle ground in your own kind of ideology, right?
Yeah.
You can't let these vocal minorities just be so loud that they influence your party right into the fucking garbage can.
And latching onto those too. I mean, you're dividing people. Like you said, you're sending people to the extremes.
Yeah.
The center is the majority.
Yeah.
It seems like, and both parties don't reach across.
Right.
I mean, the Trump administration, even though they're ostracized completely, and the stuff they're doing now, I mean, they're cooked, but it's they were kind of middle ground.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democrat. You had RFK Jr.
Yeah.
And not to get too far into that, but I mean,
the whole thing was like back to common sense.
Exactly.
Common sense approach to stuff.
And they're in there. They're getting kneecapped everywhere they go. They can't really do stuff. But if anything, I mean, both sides should look at what's happening now and be like, it doesn't really matter who gets elected.
Yeah.
There's a machine that they have to work with that has plans.
Right.
That's what we all should be looking at.
Yeah.
And it is driving people crazy.
It's this runaway train, essentially, that, the next crew is getting on this train, but it's still going down the same tracks.
Yeah.
It seems like.
They all look like hostages when they're talking about stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember when you were talking about this thing that you're really against, and now it's not a big deal? They're like
poor
turns out
Bongino.
Oh my God.
Bongino, man, that guy.
I feel like the head is like kids or something.
Dude, he totally looked like a hostage.
Man, it's brutal.
Like he looked tired. He looked just, it looked like he'd seen like a ghost. Like like that interview. Remember that interview where they're talking about the Epstein stuff? But I guess, Ghislaine Maxwell, she wants to talk now, or she says that she has information or something like that.
She got moved to a new prison.
Yeah.
Like a more, I think it's a minimum security prison.
Yeah.
So she can, kill herself. Maybe. We'll see.
Oh boy,
Tim Dillon, I was listening to him. He's like, Hillary Clinton will be in there with like fake dreadlocks, and fake tattoos, stabbing herself.
She's running the block.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a creepy world out there, man.
Well, I mean, you got essentially child rape island.
Yeah.
All these billionaires and influential political people are going to for horrible things. The worst thing you could do. And they're like, well, focus on
Hulk Hogan.
She said Hulk Hogan.
Right.
I got good genes. I mean, that's not great.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what about the child rape island?
Yeah, that's what we want to spend our time on.
Exactly. So all these people are so frustrated.
Yeah.
You got it's chaos.
Yeah. Like you got conflicts breaking out all over the world. Like there's like Sudan. Like nobody talks about Sudan. Like Sudan is there's absolute crisis in Sudan. War, civil war basically raging on where there's like legit like genocidal acts going on in Sudan.
I never even heard about that.
Because nobody talks about it, because it's all about, these hot button kind of, or like what is the kind of thing in the zeitgeist, whether it's Gaza or, Ukraine, not so much anymore. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, but there's so many issues, and that's just to name one, right? But there's so many issues all over the place that it's very strange that like one conflict or issue is gets all the attention. You know, when there's very serious matters that are, even as far as number goes and death tolls, much higher, but it's not talked about. Why?
Real news.
And why? You know,
Yeah.
because there's, especially with the Gaza situation, that there's so much propaganda associated with that on both sides too. That it just really sucks in everybody's attention, and then you have people that, I believe anyways, you have people that like don't have meaningful lives themselves, and they want to feel like they're living a meaningful life, and they're low information people, and then they hop on this issue, and then again want to present yourself as this virtuous person that's fighting for a cause, you know, but it's like a cause of convenience for you, right? Why that cause and not another cause? You know, it's strange when you try to boil down like why are people or giving so much of their attention just to this issue and not other issues, right? So it's, but at the same time, you know, on the flip side of that, it's like you want to, if you do want to give attention to these issues, I mean, it's pretty hard to learn about everything going on and divide your attention up amongst all these kind of issues, because it's a big world out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I look at that stuff too, and back to RFK Jr. I mean, I heard he's super frustrated, and he seems like a really genuine guy, and I don't know him.
Yeah.
So he might not be, but he really does seem like a genuine guy.
Yeah.
And I kind of see him in that machine. And
Right.
I've heard him talk on a couple of podcasts since he's been in there, and like he's kneecap. But when people don't, and this is very broad, but I feel like the drive to not have kids, because when you have kids, it really makes you think critically.
Right.
You know, and some
Yeah.
people still go off the rails in
Yeah.
one direction or another.
Yeah.
But it makes you really worry about what kind of world your kids are going to grow up in.
Right.
But when you have all these people, like you said, who don't have a base
Yeah.
of something that they don't really have anything, you
Right.
know, and then they latch onto these things and they don't look at the big picture.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, realistically, if you voted one way and another person voted another way, it's better if you're friends,
Mhm.
so that you can push back against things that don't make sense.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like if we as a country are super in debt, we can't pay our bills.
Yeah.
Well, that's really our government's problem. Taxes have never been higher. The cost of
Right.
living has never been higher.
Yeah.
Let's come together and push
Yeah.
back on that thing. you
Yeah.
know?
Like our government just announced like $350 million in aid to Gaza, right? And not that that's not a good thing, but again, why Gaza and why not some other place, right?
Yeah.
It's because that is the issue that's in the zeitgeist, that's in the media. So politicians, they want notoriety, they do these performative actions, and that's it. Do we have $350 million to spend as Canadians? No.
No, we're broke.
No, we
Yeah.
are worse than broke, you know, like, so, but, you know, again, it's like, why that one? And it's, you know, it's all media influence. I mean, there's so many other causes in the world that could use aid, that don't get it, because there's no attention brought to it, right?
No,
So
you can't virtue signal
yeah.
to things people don't know about.
Have you heard about this interstellar comet that's in our solar system right now, and that's passing through our solar system?
No.
So this is another. It's not really on topic, but
No.
it's another thing that is weird. Like as far as like when we talk about like the world being a weird place and weirder than we kind of understand, and like who's pulling the strings and whatnot. There's this physicist 𝐬𝐫𝐸, and he's kind of this like guy who like ties aliens into a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And but he's like a legit physicist. I think he's like a Harvard researcher, right? So, but anyways, we have this interstellar comet that's passing through our solar system, which is super rare to find. This is the third object we've ever found. This one's called 3I Atlas. The one before this was Oumuamua, and so it's traveling through uh, our solar system at 60 kilometers a second, and it's about the size of Mount Everest, I think. And there's some weird stuff about it that it came from the direction, I believe, of the sun, so we only picked it up like as it entered, and it's super late, so we can't intercept it. I think the closest it's going to get is 150 million miles away or something like that. But and its cometary tail. So when like this object comes in and it gets close to the sun, the radiation from the sun like heats up the comet, and like a lot of that, like that whatever kind of material is in there that'll heat up. A lot of times it's just water or hydrogen or whatever, and it'll make a tail.
Okay.
So the tail is kind of weird. The way it's entered our solar system, it's passing by a few planets that seems like it'd be unlikely to do. So aliens, right? So Avi Loeb calling this thing as aliens. And he also said that if you're going to take a trip or go on vacation this year, you want to do it before November or December of this year, because this thing's going to be, the closest it's going to get to Earth is going to be around December. And being very like weird about saying stuff like that, as if this thing is somehow aliens in some kind of way, and it's like they're trying to throw out there that there's going to be some kind of invasion by aliens. So there's going to be some kind of extraterrestrial threat.
Really?
That's what.
Go on vacation before November.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So this is a narrative that's being pumped out there. So I don't believe in this, but there's this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, Jeremy Corbell.
Yeah.
He's been on Rogan's podcast. He's buddies with Bob Lazar, and he did this whole
He did a couple documentaries
about it. So I'm a little bit suspicious of that guy, because he kind of deals in this, like his whole kind of shtick is aliens and UFOs and whatnot. But he did say in January of this year that he came across, or maybe he came across, I'm not sure exactly how it went down, an intelligence report that he said in January, before this started happening, he said, you wait for it. He said, this year, later on this year, there's going to be a narrative put out there that there's a spacecraft or an alien craft that's on its way towards Earth, and they're going to fearmonger. It's going to be an alien invasion, all this kind of stuff, and none of it is true. So he called it back then. So,
okay.
So in my mind, okay, like, is this now some kind of a government psyop, like a CIA psyop, where they're trying to affect and take people's attention away from something, or like what would then be the purpose of stirring people up to the point where they think that we're going to be invaded by aliens? So like, there's so much fucking weird shit going on, and there's so much propaganda and false information and narratives that you never know how you're going to be influenced, or what is like really motivating people to pay attention to things in a certain manner. So I remember seeing this video when he started saying this stuff, like there a few months back, and I'm just like, okay, buddy, you like whatever. But sure enough, now, like this past month, it's been little tidbits of this information that, hey, this thing, this 3I Atlas comet, it may actually be aliens. And it's like, what? So what the fuck is going on? Like, if you really dive deep into like CIA psyops and like misinformation that they put out there, or disinformation, they do conduct a lot of this kind of counterintelligence stuff, where like one big thing with like Area 51, where they allegedly recovered a craft back then, was that that was also a testing facility for advanced aircraft. So instead of people looking up in the sky and seeing like a triangle in the sky and being like, okay, that's some kind of advanced like stealth fighter, like a B-2 bomber or whatever, then the government would rather you think that's aliens, a UFO, than it to be something that they're working on to protect that information, right? So,
Yeah.
so like this is kind of the shit that governments get up to all the time, is putting bullshit out there and distracting the public from other meaningful things. So, so anyways, so I'm expecting later on this year that there'd be some major thing that's happening that's actually important. And then this whole like 3-eye atlas.
As soon as you said it, I was like, I wonder what restrictions they would put on then, because it would have to be something.
Yeah.
Like you can't go out after
Right.
supper.
Curfew.
We all have to move into high rises.
Yeah.
You know.
Food rationing.
Yeah.
Like
like I was telling you, we went camping and I was up at this lookout and I could see 2 forest fires.
Yeah.
And it's a normal day. There wasn't any, I mean, there was no lightning around that time.
Right.
And there's just 2 forest fires. And
Yeah.
they're in rural areas where there's houses. And it's like, they're springing up everywhere. And you look at, and I'm putting tinfoil hat on,
Right.
but you look at what happened in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They couldn't put the fire out because I think it was a while ago now, but I think that the water was shut off so it burned down all this prime real estate that, all these families owned. And then in California,
Right.
that burned down and all these people lost their homes.
Yeah.
And it just really makes me think. It's like, really seems like a prime opportunity for these big corporations to come in and buy that land and then rent you your home.
Yeah.
Instead of having ownership.
Yeah. So, and to that point, like with COVID, we saw the largest transfer of wealth ever. So they completely gutted the middle class. And so the upper class, like all that money just went right to corporations.
Yeah.
And everything, stocks and all that kind of stuff, it crashed and then skyrocketed, right? So is this another tactic that's coming up to try to transfer more wealth, right? Like you say, right? Like what restrictions are we going to be putting on? Are people then going to be buying up emergency supplies and all the fucking toilet paper from Costco, the toilet paper fiasco.
Aliens are here.
Yeah.
If I met an alien, this where my mindset is at now. If I met an alien today,
yeah,
I would assume that they work for the CIA. Like that's where my mindset is. Everything seems like it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything. It's it's like, it's a very confusing time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have access to too much information, right? Like we've evolved as like fairly tribal people where, like you ever heard Dunbar's number, where the maximum amount of people that you can put a face to a name and associate some kind of a relationship with that person is like 200 people or something. So that's kind of our limit for like a tribe, is like 200 people where we can all kind of get along and whatever and work on a common goal, right? But there's just there's too many of us. There's too much information, so we don't even know what the fuck to focus on. Meanwhile, like our country or our province or whatever is falling apart, and then we're focused on like global conflicts when we don't have our own house in order.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Yeah, and it really is like when I see somebody online and I really try to limit that hyper focusing on something like again, Sydney Sweeney's jeans.
Yeah.
And it's like you really aren't seeing the forest,
Yeah.
You're looking at this tree, you're super pissed off about it.
Yeah.
But it's like the forest is on fire.
Right.
And I don't think it's climate change. I think it's being burned down.
Right.
And again, tinfoil hat, but when you see all of these different countries imposing the same things and making these problems, and then we have to suffer to fix them.
Yeah.
It's alarming.
Yeah.
And that's what we should be looking at.
Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, like the media as well is like culpable and all that shit, right?
Oh, big time. Big time.
Recently with Canada, you know, we've failed now to negotiate with the US, and we have 35% tariffs on Canadian products going into the US. So, so what does Canada do? Every major news outlet in Canada is like, I don't know, like we don't need to name it, but there's like 5 or 6 that, you know, that are all funded by the government in some way. They all release the same headline, and it's why the tariffs on Canadian goods, or it's all the same wording too. It's like Canada is surprisingly resilient towards U.S. tariffs, right? And they all use the same word, resilient. And so you have like 6 allegedly independent news agencies all putting out the same headline. Like, obviously that's propaganda.
Yeah, it's all written in Ottawa.
Right. So that's our response. It's not to actually negotiate or deal with the issue at hand. It's to lie to the people and say, oh yeah, everything's okay. And then they send a delegation down to Mexico that if we can't strengthen our ties with the U.S., then we'll strengthen our ties in trade with Mexico. Okay. Like,
yeah, I heard a lot of the fentanyls from Mexico is coming to Canada before it hits the States now. So makes sense.
Yeah, that's the chain. That's the chain of command for it, right? So you have, you know, the cartels in Mexico. Like there's an insane amount of cartel activity that's operating within Canada. So, you know, but according to our government, that's all fake news by the U.S., you know, so, but it's fact. Yeah.
I remember before the election, there was 4 or 5 major media companies like CBC, CTV, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so 5 of them put out an article about Poilievre, and it was the same headline.
Yeah.
For all 5.
Right.
And that's a political opponent.
Yeah.
And your journalists are writing for the government.
Right.
It's in power.
Yeah.
It's like,
and even when, like even on my Instagram feed too, Poilievre's posts didn't show up in my Instagram until the election was over.
yeah.
Yeah. So suddenly, once the election, the next day after the election, I'm seeing like 2-week-old posts, 3-week-old posts in my timeline from Poilievre, right? So like, what's happening there?
Yeah.
What's that about?
And you can't view news on social media
Right.
in Canada.
Right.
And
Yeah.
nobody is up in arms about that.
Yeah.
And then people like defund the CBC because they're putting out propaganda.
Yeah.
And that's when, no, they're a Canadian staple.
Right.
Be a proud Canadian.
Yeah.
When the whole time before that, they're like, as a Canadian,
Yeah.
you're the worst.
Yeah.
You know? So,
But, you know, if you're not going to defund these institutions, then you at least need some kind of a tribunal of journalistic integrity, you
Yeah.
know, that because that's like journalistic integrity is so important for a well-functioning society, you
Yeah.
know. So when you let that just completely run amok like it is in Canada, now you have just these propagandists, and you have you know, these people that are essentially just performative activists as journalists that are completely embedded in these fringe ideologies, right? And that's the type of person that the profession is attracting. It's not attracting like sensible people anymore, or investigative people, right? So
opinion columnists for the most part.
yeah,
You know, and they get pushed to the top of the pile.
yeah,
And at the same time, I mean, you look at, like, they're always attacking Donald Trump as like a dictator.
right, yeah,
And we currently, our media isn't an open, it's not a free media. It's pushing the government's
Right.
propaganda all the time. It's
Yeah.
funded by the government.
right,
So how is that a democracy?
yeah,
You know, and like, they want to, I think it was Bill C-11, they're censoring the internet. You can't look at media. You can't look at news on social media.
Yeah.
And how is that a democracy?
Yeah. And you have these other places following suit or leading the way on that, like the UK,
Yeah.
you know, and whatnot.
It's lockstep. And the thing I fear is, you know, they're looking at anti-discrimination laws now in the U.S. under the Donald Trump regime.
Right.
And it like, that is anti-democracy.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing it. They're doing it. The UK is doing it. I think Australia. Part of being a free country is like there are outliers that are going to say crazy shit. There are actually racist people out there.
Yeah.
That are going to say crazy shit, and that's part of it. If someone says something racist, we talked about this before, but like they're making themselves a pariah.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Like, it's good to know.
If you're racist, let us know.
Exactly.
Like, like okay, it's good to know about you, dude.
Stay away from stay away from Jim.
Yeah,
he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my loved ones and kids away from you, so you don't influence them with your bullshit. But you know, you should be free to fucking say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And they're throwing it out at people that aren't even racist. I mean, the Joey Swoll thing, dressed up like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He's not a racist.
Yeah.
You know, it's
and
there are real ones out there.
And that's all it was, hey?
He dressed up like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Probably said R.I.P. brother, you know?
Yeah.
And he folded because that's a nasty word to be called.
Yeah.
You know, I certainly wouldn't want to be called that.
Right.
But like, all you can say is I'm not. You're on the back foot, you know. I'm not. I dressed up as Hulk Hogan. I grew up in the 80s.
I swear I'm not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah.
You know, but like there are people out there, if you want to really see one, you can hop on Twitter and I'm sure you'll find somebody.
Right.
But that's the thing. It's a way to fucking beat you down.
Yeah.
And make you shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's a real
distract people with bullshit.
Yeah.
There's so much distractions. You know, that was the like the concept of like the gladiatorial games in ancient Rome was to give the people something to care about, so they wouldn't care so much and distract them with it, so they wouldn't care so much about like the actual conduct of the governing body and the real issues that are going on.
Really?
Right? Yeah. So so you want to give a lot of like, you know, sports and stadiums and all that kind of stuff. You know, if you build entertainment for people and you can kind of keep people entertained, then they're distracted and they won't have to worry about real issues. You know, so that's another form of that, is these just heightened performative attention and nonsense towards issues that ultimately don't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Performative outrage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of that, do you know who Candace Owens is?
Yeah.
I came across this thing where the president of France.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with geopolitics.
Yeah.
The president of France.
President Macron.
Yeah, Macron. She put out a documentary about his wife.
Yeah.
That she's a man.
Yeah.
And they're suing her
right.
for that. And I went on a deep dive.
Yeah, you can go on a deep dive with that. I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. I've seen like a little bit of it, and I'm like, oh my god, I just can't. I don't have the time for it. Like it's weird. It's because right off the bat it gets weird because she's a lot older than him, and if you take all the noise away, she like basically groomed him when he was like 14 years old.
Yeah,
or a child. And he was like performing in like a theater or whatever.
And she was
like 30.
She was like, she was much older.
Yeah, a lot older. So just on the surface and the facts, it's like, okay, it's a weird relationship right off the bat. And then you have, you know, her like, you know, give him a smack on that plane. Like you see that?
Seen that, yeah.
And just smacks him right over the face, and he's like, and he looks out and he's like, oh, hey. Wait for the people, right? Yeah. So, I mean, like, all these politicians are so fake, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's at the end of the day, regardless of whatever's true in that case, they're all fake. They're all like they lead these bullshit lives, and they're all about their front stage selves and how how charming they are or how presidential they are or whatever it is. But yeah, they're just people, and they got weird shit going on that they don't want you to know about.
I feel like politicians have to have a bunch of skeletons in order to be one. It's
yeah.
They always like when they bring up their dirt. It's never like they cheated on their taxes.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's the argument, the Bob Lazar argument too, is that in order to like you don't want somebody that's squeaky clean working on an operation that you want to keep secret. You want somebody that has skeletons in their closet to work on it. So then if that person turns on you or they try to expose whatever's going on, well, you can bury them because you have that dirt on them. So you don't want to elevate somebody that is untouchable in that sense, where they have no skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
You need people with skeletons in their closet so then you can control them. And so the Bob Lazar working on alien spacecrafts, and whether it's that or whether it's Epstein doing this honeypot operation and getting like criminal video on people and blackmailing them with that, and then agreeing to fund them or elevate them to a higher level of social status. So
that makes sense.
That seems like standard operating procedure for a lot of way society works, right?
Yeah, no, so, that makes sense. You can keep them on a leash.
Yeah.
If you got some shit you can bring up.
Yeah.
And it's always like the most horrendous shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Epstein Island was like that in bulk. It was like a mass blackmail operation.
Yeah, devilish stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Demonic.
Allegedly. I've heard he's just a creepy guy,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, like, like the whole thing is apparently now just kind of blown out of proportion to some people, and there wasn't actually anything incriminating going on, or like whatever it was. Like, yeah, it's just it's disappointing how silly this shit got said, because the thing that's so offensive about it is that the people that are in power, they think they're in power because they're smarter than you. And they're smarter than everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not the case, right? So that's why people are so fucking mad about the Epstein thing. It's like, okay, you're so obviously trying to like pull the wool over people's eyes and change and focus people's attention away from this thing.
Especially when you come into power, being like, this seems odd. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we had a look and there was nothing there.
Right.
And he killed himself.
Yeah.
It's like, but he was in the most secure prison.
Yeah.
And he was on suicide watch.
Right.
And the security guards fell asleep and the cameras turned off. The cameras turned off every night.
Yeah.
For a reboot. It's like,
and they had him bunked. They had him bunked with some ex-killer cop that was like apparently jacked and huge. Like why not have him in solitary confinement? If he was like the most important guy to keep alive at that point. Like, you need that guy to stand trial. He has information that you want exposed. You'd think you'd at least hire somebody on overtime to have an extra pair of eyes watching him.
Yeah.
That's kind of what any cell block that has that I've worked with, or if somebody is suicidal, they usually call somebody in just to watch that suicidal person. So you have one set of eyes on that suicidal person in the cell. That's the way we used to do it in Alberta. Or if somebody's arrested for a crime that is like a high crime like murder, then call in another guard to keep an eye on that person. It's an important person that you need to monitor, right? Because the stakes are high for the public, because it's a public interest, and it's the stakes high for that person as well. It's the craziest thing that they've been involved in, so they're going to be prone to doing things like attempts at suicide, or maybe violence, or escape, or whatever, right? So it's good to be extra careful, but Epstein, fuck it.
No, he's fine. Let's take a nap.
Yeah, take a snooze, boys.
I've heard a spin where they said that basically the administration, because of the amount of like tech people involved, that they wouldn't be able to compete on the world scale if they all went to prison.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I mean, other people could run those companies.
Yeah.
You know, it's I mean, it's hilarious and frustrating. And,
Yeah.
But you look at what they did and the victims, and it's like, it's the worst thing they could do.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that spoke out about it are dead.
Yeah.
You know, also suspicious.
Yeah.
But
like Virginia Guthrie or whatever her name was, you know, she was the one that exposed Prince Andrew, and she got like run over by a vehicle, and she was all broke up, but she survived that, and then she killed herself after that. Very strange. You know, now it's like, you know, but, you know, no doubt she suffered mentally from going through all that stuff and having to be the one, having so much attention put on you. You know, like that's incredibly difficult to go through. But you know, I believe her brother I believe I saw a clip of her brother saying that, you know, she did not have issues like that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, there's a big, there's a part of Christianity, and a lot of Christians believe like there's no such thing as coincidences.
Right.
And living in this age with all the shit going on.
Yeah.
I also believe there's no such thing as coincidences.
Yeah. That's
anymore.
a mindset a lot of cops take as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, when a couple of things line up on a file, then you're like, got him. You know, but you might not, but you know, but you think you do, right? But it's also, yeah, that's a saying too. There's no coincidences in policing, you know, because usually when there's smoke, there's fire, right? But yeah.
Well, there's definitely fire.